Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly, play-by-play voice of the Charlotte Rush. It is Wednesday, March the 6th. We're in the coach's office of the Charlotte Rush to talk Charlotte Rush Premier Hockey. These are exciting times for the Charlotte Rush Premier. A successful opening round sweep of the Richmond Generals in the opening round of the USPHL Premier League playoffs. And now it is on to Boston, Massachusetts for the national championship. So we're going to talk to the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Premier, Trevor Jewell. Trevor, again, great series in Richmond. You swept the Generals. It was the best out of three. Let's talk about game one. Wow, 2-0 shutout. Another big game for Michael Patterson-Jones. And then he got some secondary scoring from Adam Meister and Chris Dunn. How sweet was that?
It was good, but I think the highlight of that game for me was our defense. I think our defense played well, and they were very stout, and they kept pucks out of the net and out of the zone. So and they were blocking shots. They were doing the things they needed to do, and it helped PJ play the way he wanted to play. It helped their offense, get a spark and score there. But it was good to see a kid like Adam score a goal. It's been coming. It's been coming for about a couple months now, and to see him get on the board like that in one of the critical times of the year, it's very, very pleasing for me. And then obviously to see Dunny score a goal like that. I mean, even though it's an empty netter, it was much needed at the time. And after a kid like him, he lays down, blocks a shot with his face, and Kyle Pressis did one too. But I mean, that's the reward you get for playing good in the defensive zone and doing the things the right way. So very happy with the way our team played and the way we played defensively. And, we came out with a win. And when you play well in one zone and you play 200 feet, usually the games kind of come out the way you want them to.
And then game two of the series, a 4-2 win by the Rush. Good defense again. Didn't get a shutout, but didn't matter. But you got goals from Gino DeBlasis, Justin Samaro, Jimmy O'Kane, and Chris Dunn. So, again, a lot of your secondary guys scoring. And so good to see Gino DeBlasis get a goal. He worked so hard. It was really nice to see him get rewarded for his hard work all season.
Yeah, I mean, that line has scored in all of our last 4 games. So I have no complaints with the way they're playing. They just need to keep doing what they're doing, and it's showing on the ice. And then obviously to have other guys score, I mean, that's huge. I mean, the depth scoring that is what you need in the playoffs, and I think we do have a deep team, contrary to what a lot of other teams think. I mean, we have 4 lines that can keep coming at you and keep coming at you and keep coming at you and really wear teams down. And, our defense can spark an offense every now and then too. And, it's fun to watch when we're playing our game. But, again, we had a good offensive game, but we also had a very good defensive game in my head. We only gave up 1 goal that game realistically. I mean, the ref called a goal when it shouldn't have been a goal. The goalie had it covered, and they kept banging away at it and put it in the net. So that shouldn't have counted in my mind. Sure. And I'm sure PJ would love to have that one back too. So in my head, it was a 4-1 game. But, again, we did everything we needed to. We stuck to our keys to the game. We blocked shots. We played good defensively. We moved pucks, and we shot pucks, and we got to the net in the hard area. So they're buying in right now, every single line and every single player, and it's really starting to pay off on the ice. So I'm very happy with our performance that weekend. But that doesn't mean anything until we take care of what we need to take care of now.
Well, again, it was a team effort all weekend long in the 2 wins. But one guy I do want to just get a comment from Trevor Jewell about is a guy that played on the Premier last year but didn't have a very good start to the season, was actually sent on to Elite, but turned his game around, and he is just playing great hockey, and that's Chris Dunn. 3 points in the 2 games, scored a goal in each game. This guy is working so hard, Trevor. He's obviously trying to prove to you and the coaching staff he doesn't want to go back to Elite.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't want to go back there, but at the same time, he's one of those kids fighting for a college commitment next season. And, I think it helps, the 2 guys around it make him play better as well, Julian Miranda and Jimmy O'Kane. I mean, that line has been lights out since I put those 3 together. So, kudos to the way Dunny's playing. I think he leads by example on that line sometimes. He talks a little too much, but, that's part of Dunny's personality. And, but he's doing everything right now, defensively, offensively, and it's paying off for him on the ice. And he's really fighting to get that college commitment, and I think a lot of schools are going to take notice of him and his play when we get up to Boston.
All right, and speaking of Chris Dunn, we hope that as we head up to Boston now for the Nationals, that regarding his scoring, that he is not done yet. I'm Tim Donnelly. We're talking Charlotte Rush Premier Hockey right now with the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Premier Team, Trevor Jewell. Trevor, let's look at the schedule right now. We head to Boston. We started out Saturday, March the 9th against the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. 8:30 a.m. start. Not sure how we drew the short straw on that one, but and then Saturday, the Minnesota Blue Ox at 6:50. 2 games on Saturday. They're far apart, but still 2 games. And then Sunday, the New York Aviators at 1:15. Let's talk about first the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. Trevor, your very first game. Can you tell us anything about them and what kind of opposition they're going to provide?
Well, I mean, they're fast. They work hard. Their forecheck's, fairly decent. They have pretty good goaltending, so we just got to stick to our game plan and play the way we play, and I think we should see some success. But nothing's going to come easy, and, we just have to make sure we have a good start, play a full 60 minutes, and we should be all right.
Then later on Saturday, we play the Minnesota Blue Ox. Now, the Rush did play 2 Minnesota teams earlier in the year, one of our showcases, not this team, but talk about the Minnesota Blue Ox.
They're a bigger team. They dump a lot of pucks and try to get in on the forecheck. Their power play's fairly decent. Their goaltending's all right. I think if we play with speed and play physical, then we should be just fine as well. Again, we got to play another 60 minutes and do what we do best, and then we'll see success. But again, it's one of the teams we have to break down video on, which we've been doing all week so far, and just kind of get a feel for what they're about, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and try to expose those things. So obviously I've been doing a lot of video this week, so we'll start grinding it out here as a team. We started today, we'll do some more tomorrow, we'll do some more Friday, and then we'll do a little bit on the weekend as well before we play a team, just kind of brush up on what is going to be expected. But at the end of the day, if we just play our brand and our style, then I think teams are going to have to cater to us. I don't want to have to cater to them, and I don't think we're going to. That's not our style. That's not how we coach, and that's kind of our game plan going up there.
And then finally, our third game that we know about right now would be Sunday against the New York Aviators. And what's the tape tell us about them, Trevor?
They have a very good top line. They're fast. They play a European style, puck possession style. So we have to have a good forecheck and play physical. And they're smaller teams, and we're a fairly bigger team. So I think if we impose our will and play our style and our brand again, there's not much they can do to stop us, in my opinion. But they do have a good team up there. All 3 teams we're playing are decent and good, and they're all very well coached. So it's not going to be easy. It never is, and it shouldn't be easy to try to win a national championship. And our guys are going to be ready, and I'm going to give them as many tools as they can have in their arsenal to play against these teams and what their expectations are going to be when they hit the ice running.
Talk about the playoff format. We're guaranteed 3 games. Do we have to win all 3? Can you win 2 of 3 in advance? What's the playoff format, Trevor?
So you just have to win your bracket. Preferably, I'd want to win all 3 just so we don't have to come down to a tiebreaker or anything like that. I'd hate to have our season ended on a coin toss. Yes, that is one of the tiebreakers, which is amazing.
Wow, you're not good.
But I think if we just take care of business and win the 3 games we need to win, and then we move on to the semifinals and play our crossover game, then then we have less to worry about. So right now for me, it's just trying to win 3 games and come out at the other end and make sure that we're in one of those semi games. So we just have to put our best team on the ice every time we play this weekend.
Trevor, I'm really impressed, too. There's still 28 players here yet. A few of the elite guys are still behind. These are some of the players that played at least a game or 2 with Premier. So you got a lot of guys here, and you're taking a lot of guys up there. And I know that's got to make them feel really good that you're including them in this process. Some of the guys may not play at all or play a little, but, boy, they got to be thrilled to be going up there so they can be a part of this.
Yeah, at the end of the day, those are guys that want to be on the Premier team, and we're all about family here, and everyone in this locker room is a family no matter what team you're on, and we're big believers in keeping guys together and making sure that they understand that it's one family, it's one goal, and that everything we do it together. So I'm happy guys stuck around, and I also want them to support their brothers, and at the end of the day, that's what these guys are. They're family and they're brothers.
Trevor, I know you don't want to divulge any real deep information, but just very generally, how are we shaping up health-wise? Any injuries to be concerned about? Or are we going to be heading to Boston in pretty good health?
Perfectly fine.
Yeah. So we like to hear. That's good news. All right, one final comment from Trevor Jewell. A lot of the folks don't realize this, but Trevor is actually the 4th coach of the Charlotte Rush this season. Ryan Crothers was initially going to come back, And then he had an opportunity to go down to Corpus Christi and be the head coach of the Corpus Christi Ice Rays in the North American Hockey League. Ryan took advantage of that. And then there were two other coaches prior to Trevor being assigned here by Ryan. So, Trevor, you've had a lot. Not only that, you started out in Palm Beach. Then you were named assistant coach of Corpus Christi. You were there. Then Trevor sent you here. And while you weren't coaching here, when we had some downtime, you were back in Corpus Christi. So all I got to say is, with all those factors, you and the coaching staff have done a marvelous job with these Rush teams. And here we are heading to Boston once again with all those factors.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's on the players, and they want it, so they worked for it, and I'm just here to correct things and adjust things and keep the culture intact and make sure our guys are doing what we expected of them, whether, Ryan's in Corpus or Chicago or wherever the hell he might be. We still have a culture to abide by and standards that we want to live by in this locker room and in this program. And that's, kind of why I was brought in, to make sure that we got back to the way we wanted things. And kudos to John Keating for doing everything he's done behind the scenes. And, but at the end of the day, it's the players that make the team, and they've done what they needed to do on and off the ice to go back to Boston again. And it's a blast, and it's a lot of fun to work with these guys.
Yeah, to tell you, John Keating, just a tireless worker here, fills many roles with the Rush. The primary one, he works with the goaltenders, but does a lot of things behind the scenes. And Brian Holland also came in to help out, and his expertise was certainly appreciated by the Rush. Trevor, with all that, flying back and forth, hectic, being the head coach of two teams, I never saw you get down emotionally and physically, and I think it's because you really enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it's the players that make it enjoyable, and obviously you never work in your day in your life when you love what you're doing. And I'm lucky, and not many people can say it, is that I have three teams that I love to work with, and from Corpus to the two teams here, like everywhere, it doesn't matter. I mean, I love working with all these guys, and it's my passion at the end of the day, and they make it easier for me on a day-to-day basis.
Trevor, congratulations. Great season. We're heading to Boston for the USPHL Premier League National Championships. I know we fell a little short last year, but maybe we'll get the job done this year. I hope that we will. We got a great team. We got a lot of momentum right now. Best wishes to you and the guys up there in Boston, and we will be following very closely here.
Thanks a lot, Tim.
All right, Trevor Jewell, head coach of the Charlotte Rush Premier. And again, please watch on Hockey TV. You can catch all the action there from Boston. Again, the Rush will begin Saturday, March the 9th against the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. That'll be at 8:30 a.m. And then later on that evening, the Charlotte Rush will take on the Minnesota Blue Ox at 6:50, about 10 before 7. And then Sunday, the Rush's lone game will be against the New York Aviators at 1:15. So go to Hockey TV to catch all the action. Certainly you can go to our Charlotte Rush YouTube channel, our Charlotte Rush website, and our Charlotte Rush social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks to Ryan Newman from the Charlotte Rush Premier, who ran our camera today. And I'm Tim Donnelly, voice of the Charlotte Rush. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.